one way or another in this case, either in registering cases, either in making paperwork, either in bringing papers to the judge, or in thinking about the case. And this decision to rearrest these 3 suspects was a decision taken by 10 lawyers, sitting around a table during a whole afternoon being presented the new material. And we thought about it a lot, and of course we thought about all the press attention coming with it. That's a tough decision to take, because we know that this press attention in the past didn't do Aruba much good. That's exactly the reason why we are talking to you right now, because we don't want to do anything covered or not in the open. We want to tell and account for what we are doing, and that's what we're trying to do right now.
I wondered whether it was a prosecutor's function in this country or a police function to do the questioning at this stage, or whether it's a combination.
I understand. My colleague who's dealing with this case has an everyday briefing with the police, telling her what was going on in the case and what decisions has to be taken. If these decisions concern the involvement of the judge and the preparing of an involvement of the judge by asking the judge's orders or talking to the judge to give us the possibility to do some things in the investigation, she's responsible for that, and she's in lead of the investigation. That's the way it's organized here. The execution of the whole investigation is done by police officers who were, in this case, after the Dutch were involved, handpicked from the Netherlands and working together with experienced Aruban police officers, making a team who tried to build this case up to a decision we have to take.
So these are new police officers. They're not the ones that were first around. Obviously, you're new to the case, and a lot of the prosecutors are new to the case. But in terms of the detectives or police assigned to it, are new. They're not the ones who were originally. They're not the.
On the Aruban side, there are still police officers involved who were involved in the past, because it's very important. They have the historic insight in this case. They know where things are, what they heard, and who were involved. And the Dutch guys are much lean on that information. And again, they took a fresh view on the whole investigation they got from Aruba, and they found a new lease in this case. They said, this is what you have to reinvestigate. This is what we have to go for. These witnesses have to be sought and have to be questioned. That's what they did, and we call it a sort of review. That's what they did, and they make a report on that. And on the basis of that report, we did the investigation in the period between April and June, and now in October and November. As
it stands now, the 2 Kelpo brothers are detained, and they will be detained until the next hearing, which is when?
I think that's on Thursday, yes, maybe on Friday.
And at that point, you go for another 8 days?
Yes.
And Aruban van der Sloot, he is detained. When does his 8 days run?
He was detained by an order of the judge on which he was arrested in the Netherlands. The judge first had to give this order and had to study the material first. Then he was arrested in the Netherlands for a period of 8 days in custody. And this period of 8 days now, just 2 hours ago, was prolonged with another 8 days, which will expire somewhere by the end of next week.
And then do you have an opportunity to go for another 8 days?
In the case of Joran, no. Then we will have to ask him, the judge, to prolong this period with another 60 days. And in the case of the brothers, we still have to go into this 8 days prolongment, yes.
And that, of course, then would take you beyond your personal time, for the 60 days of the end of December, of when you're going to make a decision.
But then things have to be clear by then, by questioning these guys. So that 31st of December stands as it is.
And I take it that date is a squishy one, in the sense that if you think that you need more information, or that you can get more information, that you'll change that date. That's just what you are hoping for. I
have given the word to the judge and to the lawyers of the brothers that if by the 31st of December things are not clear, this case will be dismissed. They will be charged if it's a case that we can try in court. And I said the only exception I make on not making it up to the date of the 31st of December, because I needed a small way out, is if there is very, very heavy and important evidence coming up between now and the 31st of December. For example, finding the body of Natalie Holloway, which would be a very, very important piece of evidence. Or maybe any other source of evidence. For example, a witness who just filmed the whole killing of the girl. If that witness is there, he would come up and say, hey, here's my material, you can see who done it. Well, then that would change the thing. But I also said, when I asked for this little escape for myself, I have no indications that a thing like that will happen.
So what a mystery. What is this new incriminating evidence, and how do the Holloways feel about the rearrest? Joining us live in Aruba is Vinda D'Souza, the lawyer for Natalie's father, Dave Holloway. Nice to see you, Vinda. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Nice to see you again.
Boy, this news sort of hit us like a bomb. How about you? Did you see it coming?
No, not really. I knew the investigation was ongoing, and the investigation never stopped. But to have thought that a rearrest would have been possible at this time, No, it hit me like a bomb.
All right. Did you talk to your clients?
Yes, I did. I spoke to Dave, and of course he was exhilarated. But then again, let's wait and see what happens, because this has happened before.
How did you find out?
I can't disclose that.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I found out at the moment they were being arrested.
So you got tipped off.
More or less.
Okay, more or less. New incriminating evidence. Any clue what that is?
What I've understood, it's technical evidence. With technical evidence, I asked the question, what is it? Is it forensic evidence? No, it's technical evidence, and I was made to understand wiretaps, bugs, that sort of thing. Conversing with friends, and maybe being less tight-lipped than they were before.
So was everyone tapped, the two Kelpo brothers and Iran, and they've been communicating with each other, or is it computer messages, anything like that, do you know?
I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure, but I know that there is new technical evidence, and that they've been chit-chatting with other people and amongst themselves.
When does the prosecutor have to disclose what it is?
The prosecutor only discloses what it is at the trial, especially in the case of the victimized parties, especially if you see, I saw the interview you had with the prosecutor, and there are restrictions imposed on the suspects, the detainees, and their lawyers. So they're being even more tight-lipped about this than they were before. So the evidence, I'm presuming, will only be disclosed to the victimized party at the trial. Of course, the family will be informed, but very dozed.
You know, I was quite impressed with Hans Moss. I mean, I thought that he was a very sort of straightforward, serious type prosecutor. What's your thought about him?
Same thing. Very straightforward, serious type of prosecutor, and not afraid to come forward and say just enough to keep everybody informed, but just enough not to hamper the investigation.
Not to hurt his case, which
Exactly.
he shouldn't do. Now, what a contrast to Karin Janssen. Do we hold Karin Janssen responsible for that sort of, unwillingness to talk, or was it her boss? I mean, because I think in some ways that generated so much more mystery.
You're putting me in a spot here. There was a different boss then than there is now, and things have changed around. I think Karin Janssen came forward, but of course due to policies within the department, so to say, the prosecution, things had to be done differently.
So me hammering Karin Janssen, I might have had the wrong target. Maybe her boss I should have been,
Your
hammering.
words, not mine.
All right, mine, yes, because I don't practice law here. You do. You have to live here and practice law, so
Exactly.
you need to choose your words very wisely. Are you allowed to go to these court hearings?
No, not at this moment. Only at the trial. If there is a trial, then we will be there representing the victimized party. But these hearings are closed just for defense attorneys.
All right, well, Vinda, nice to see you. It's always lovely to be back in Aruba. It's a beautiful island. Thank you, Vinda.
Thank you.
Coming up, we've got a lot more for you from Aruba. What does Iran think? Do you think he's worried? And what is this new incriminating evidence? And later, this is really weird. Another woman coming forward telling the world what she says. Sergeant Drew